What's going on, everyone? It's time to go back to my roots. The whole reason why I created this channel, and that's to review shows and live shows of bands playing and stuff like that, festivals, all that fun stuff. And after a year and a half, I finally got to go to a festival. I went to the U.S. to Louisville, Kentucky for the Louder Than Life Festival. It was 4 days from September 23rd to the 26th. And oh boy, what a weekend that was. This was about a week and a half ago, but I'm finally able to get around to doing a review of it. I'm going to give you a day-by-day breakdown of all the bands that played. I checked out as much as I could of each band. Obviously, I'm going to watch more of the bands I like than bands I'm not really aware of. So, yeah. So there's that. But, yeah, I'm going to give you a little breakdown of all the bands that played and how their set was and stuff like that. Maybe where they're from, type of music they are, and then I'll give you a rating on out of 5 of what I think out of their performance, of what I saw anyways, and then I'll do like an overall rating at the end of the whole day. And by the fourth video for the fourth day, I'll do a whole overall rating of the whole festival as well. So yeah, so let's get to it. So September 23rd is day one. There's about like 20 bands or so. So yeah, let's get into it. Now, Louder Than Life Festival had 3 stages, 2 main stages, the Loudmouth stage and the Space Zebra stage. I'm not going to say the stage names unless it's the side stage that they're on, the Disruptor stage, because they overlap with the other two. So I'll mention that so it's a little more clear because, yeah, half and half basically. If there's band playing there, I'd check out a song or two, especially if I don't know them, and then check out the bands I like on the main stage and stuff. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's see. Let's talk about some bands. First band that played was Blame My Youth. I couldn't find where they're from, but they're from somewhere in the U.S. They're like a new wave of alternative rock, like rap rock type band. They're kind of your typical radio play rock band, I thought. They're sort of like a younger version of Linkin Park in a way. But they're okay. Like, I'm not huge into that stuff, so it's all right. They only had, for the half hour, it wasn't bad. Pretty decent band to open up a big festival. And yeah, so I wasn't too big into them. And yeah, there's not much else to say of them. They're pretty basic, generic thing. Nothing too catchy. They didn't do anything crazy. They just came out, stood there, did their thing, played for a half hour. So I'm gonna give Blame My Youth a 2.5 out of 5. They were pretty decent still. They had some catchy hooks and stuff like that in their songs, but wasn't the greatest in my opinion. Now the next band I liked a little bit more, Another Day Dawns. And I couldn't figure out where they're from either. I think they're from somewhere in California, but yeah, don't quote me on that. Yeah, they're your modern rock band, and they did a really good Led Zeppelin cover. They had some choreographed stage moves and stuff like that, which is pretty funny and amusing, but they're actually pretty decent. They had some good guitar licks and riffs and everything. The song structures are pretty good. They had some pretty interesting lyrics for the most part. Stuff I actually really enjoyed them. I thought they were pretty good, and definitely looking forward to seeing what they come out with in the future and future performances because they definitely can probably go further than where they are now, anyways. So yeah, Another Day Dawns. I'm gonna give them a 4.5. I actually really enjoyed them and stuff. So yeah, moving on. We got a lot to cover. So next is Avoid from Seattle, Washington. This is a new wave like punk rock band, and yeah, they definitely look like a punk band. They have some like almost like dance music mixed in with it and stuff, sort of like Eskimo Callboy style. But yeah, they definitely have a lot of charisma. They're pretty funny too and joking and full of energy all the time and stuff the whole time they're on stage. And yeah, they have more pop punk lyrics and stuff, sort of like A Day to Remember and things like that, which isn't really, I'm not big into. Like, I don't mind some of it, but yeah, but still, it was a fun, entertaining set. But definitely nothing I'm gonna go out of my way and do. I could see them becoming pretty big if they continue on the way they're going now, but For what I saw, it was still entertaining and fun. I'm gonna give them a 3.5 out of 5. Uh, Next band on the side stage was Currents from Fairfield, Connecticut. They're a metalcore band. Now this band, um, they're interesting to watch because for the first little bit of their set, they had your typical metalcore like breakdowns and everything, like the odd like groove riff mixed in with it. But then they had a little more metallic, heavier sound for some of their newer stuff, and I thought that was interesting. But in the end, it's just another metalcore band that's doing the same old. So I wasn't huge into them, but they definitely did have some little good beats and stuff. The pit was a little small for this band, but yeah, when you go to these, you don't know when to start moshing sometimes. But yeah, Currents was an okay band, but I could see them becoming good, and as they work out more of their sound and stuff, they can become pretty big. Because I know the metalcore, deathcore, and all that is flooded with bands right now. So, but still, for what they are, it was still pretty decent. I'm gonna give them a 2.5 out of 5. Up next is a band. This is the second time I've seen this band. Yeah, it's Escape the Fate from Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, they're an alternative rock band, but I hate to say this because I don't like saying things like this, but about bands, but they seem like a washed-up Warped Tour band nowadays. Still trying to chase that flame a bit. Like they had a lot of potential back when I originally saw them. I think it was at Warped Tour like 8 years ago, but yeah. And then yeah, now it sounds the same, but it sounds kind of dated. I thought I'm not into these guys at all, so I wasn't really into it to begin with. But yeah, they were okay. They had some like you can tell they have a fan base somewhere because they definitely have like the energy and everything to go with it, but it's still just wasn't for me. I'm not huge into Escape the Fate or their music, so yeah, I'm gonna give them a 2 out of 5. Now the band after them, boy, was so right. This is one of the main bands I wanted to see this day. That's Seven Dust. This is my second time seeing Seven Dust live from Atlanta, Georgia, and they originally started in the new metal. They're actually one of the heavier new metal bands that came out. Then they sort of changed their style to more hard rock, basic metal sort of sound. And boy, there's the grooves and the guitar riffs and everything are so good and well written for the songs and stuff, especially in a live setting. Boy, you just want to move to it. It's so good. It's for the half hour, it flew by, and their vocalist and stuff always has a great sound, and definitely a great fun time. A lot of fun atmosphere, a lot of good push moshing going on through their set and everything. Definitely a lot of fun time. This is when all the crowd surfing basically slowly started to happen and stuff. So yeah, Seven Dust. I really enjoyed them. I kind of wish I heard some of their older stuff because I'm more familiar with that than like their newer stuff. Like I like Time Travelers and Bonfires. Their new album's actually not that bad, but I only heard it a few times. And I wish they had a longer set. So yeah, I'm gonna give Seven Dust a 4.5 out of 5 for that. Up next on the side stage it was Jarris Johnson. I'm not sure where he's from, but he's one of those new rappers that like to scream, whine, and yell. And I can't stand that stuff. I watched maybe a song of his, and I'm like, yeah, not for me at all. 100% not for me. And he just basically whined and was cocky and stuff, and I just like walked away. I was just like, I can't stand it. There is somewhat of a fan base for that stuff, but for his set, there's like 20 people watching him anyways. So, yeah, Jarris Johnson definitely wasn't for me. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 0.5 out of 5. Terrible. Yeah, but then I was pretty impressed with the band that came on right after. Well, while his set was going on, I walked back over to the other Space Zebra stage to check out a band I heard about but I never actually listened to, Wage War. Boy, was I impressed. They're from Ocala, Florida, and they're a metalcore band. But boy, they take basically like Slipknot and mix it with like As I Lay Dying almost style. And boy, do they have some, especially their older stuff, has some pummeling riffs and great pit for this. A lot of good throwdowns and a lot of good, just a good fun time overall. Halfway through during their song, I think it was High Horse, the vocalist of Beartooth came out and performed with them, did the song with them, sang that song with them. So, yeah, they're definitely going to be a big band. I can tell you that. One of the vocalists sounds like Corey Taylor, and yeah, definitely a sick live performance. And even their new stuff, their guitarist does like clean vocals and stuff, so it has almost like a pop punk sort of sound, but it definitely still has the heavy breakdown riffs and stuff. And you do sort of like what As I Lay Dying is doing and stuff on their Awakened album, and that it has the same sort of sound to it, and I really enjoy that for metalcore. That's like the more metalcore stuff I go for, and like I'm more into it. So I actually was so impressed with these guys. I went out and bought a sweater from the merch stand, and yeah, so I have that, and yeah, they're definitely pretty sick. You gotta check them out, especially if you know metalcore and stuff. You never listen to them. There's some pretty good tunes and stuff. I also bought all their albums on Amazon. They're coming soon. So yeah, I really enjoyed them. I just wanted more, and I was disappointed that they only played for like 35-40 minutes. So yeah, but I'm gonna give them a 4.5 out of 5. I just don't feel like giving them a perfect score yet, but definitely in the future I can see myself doing that. Yeah, so after that we're gonna go back over to the side stage, as there's a band called 0936 from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They're almost like new metalcore, sort of like Straight from the Path, but they basically seem like they're copying Straight from the Path, and I don't like Straight from the Path. But yeah, that stuff was not for me very well, but they were okay. They had some like interesting ideas I could see, and I think over time they could probably put out some pretty interesting songs and tunes, but as of right now, they still seem to be starting out and trying to find their groove and stuff. So it was a hit and miss, where that's like half the song would sound good, but then all of a sudden they'll try to change something, and for me it didn't flow right. Or it might have just been the set that they had. But yeah, so 0936, I'm gonna give them a 3 out of 5. They were fun to watch, but still not the best. But I also had to run over to the Loudmouth stage to check out one of my favorite bands, Anthrax. This was my fourth time seeing Anthrax live. They're a thrash metal band from New York City, New York. And yeah, amazing set. This is actually the shortest set I've ever seen them play. They played for like 40 minutes or something like that, but definitely had all the good stuff in there. Had like Indians, Caught in a Mosh, all those live staples are put in there. Yeah, and Antisocial and things like that. Great time, a lot of good mosh pit was great. Everything about it was great. It went by so fast, but Anthrax is hands down one of the best live bands out there, and yeah, definitely a great time. 5 out of 5 from me. After them, Beartooth hit the stage beside them. This is my third time seeing Beartooth. They're from Columbus, Ohio, and they're like a hardcore punk. They're not really post-hardcore. They have like quite the hardcore sound, especially in their older stuff, but then they do have like the pop punk sort of vocal range and stuff. And the vocalist of Wage War came out halfway through the set and did a song with them, so that was cool. Beartooth is middle of the road for me. I like half their stuff, but half their stuff is a little too radio friendly almost for me. But I do like they're in the live setting, their stuff is way heavier and stuff, and that's always fun. There's some good pits, a lot. I actually went crowd surfing through their set, so yeah, it was pretty fun. So yeah, Beartooth was just fun overall, and but I wish they played a little bit more. It seemed like the last song they had like an extra like 3 or 4 minutes, and they didn't want to throw another song in, so they just played around with distortion for it, which got a little boring. But yeah, overall, Beartooth was still quite a lot of fun. Definitely one of the highlights of day one. I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5. Like I said, it's the third time I've seen them, so yeah. And then after that, I went and checked out Memphis Mayfield. Now, I only saw like half their set because they came on halfway through Beartooth. But yeah, so Memphis Mayfield is my second time seeing them. I saw them at Warped Tour like 8 years ago. I'm pretty sure it's the same one Escape the Fate played. But yeah, they're from Denton, Texas, and they're like a metalcore band. They used to be a Christian metalcore band. So I'm only familiar with their Challenger album. So they did play some of that stuff, which I was pleased with. And but they played a lot of like their slower and groove sort of stuff. It threw me off a bit, but they were okay this time around. It wasn't the best set. I thought they were better the first time I saw them, but they're definitely trying something new, and they're definitely doing something right. There's a lot of people checking them out and stuff. I respect that. Memphis Mayfield it's not like the main type of music I listen to, but I do like to hear some of their stuff every so often. Live wise, still good. It was still a good time. Just kind of wish for a little bit more heavier stuff mixed in with it than just straight it. But I know this is more of a rock festival than a metal festival, so that's probably the reason. But overall, it was still a good set. So yeah, I'm gonna give Memphis Mayfield a 3.5 out of 5. Now we're gonna get into the big bands. So here, so for on like the Loudmouth stage, we have the hip hop titans themselves, Cypress Hill, return and come. This is my first time ever seeing them. Yeah, they're from Southgate, Florida. They did like Sound of the Police, I think, and stuff like that. Or they at least covered it. And that they think they rap a lot about weed and stuff. They had a lot of good grooves, a lot of good bounce tunes, I guess you could call it, and a lot of old school hip hop. It was cool seeing all these guys just like kicking it and keep going at it, even at a rock festival and stuff. A lot of people were into it and stuff. A lot of good times. A lot of people getting stoned during their set and everything. It was a fun set, and for what I've saw anyways, it was a lot of fun and a good time. So I'm gonna give Cypress Hill a 4 out of 5. I was pretty impressed with that, even though I'm not huge into the hip-hop scene. After that, the last band for the Disruptor stage of the day hit, and that was Knock Loose. This is my second time seeing Knock Loose. They're a hardcore punk band from Oldham County, Kentucky, the homegrown heroes, basically, and they killed it. They're pretty sick. They have quite the heavy set. They have like more of like the screamo vocals and stuff. And boy, the throwdown pit and the mosh pit and everything was so much fun. And that definitely a sick time. Not much to complain about by their set. Definitely having a blast playing at like a hometown festival and stuff. So Knock Loose is getting a 4.5 out of 5 from me. Just wish they played a little longer. And then we got the two main bands closing off the night. And first up was Stained, who's just like a hard rock band. Came out at the end of the grunge era, basically, from Springfield, Massachusetts. And they had a pretty decent set. A lot of their stuff. This was my first time seeing them live, and boy, they actually have some heavy songs live. I was pretty impressed with that. A lot of good stuff. I kind of wish the vocalist didn't talk as much and they try to play a little bit more. But overall, the set was fun. Very colorful background and stuff like that. And definitely a lot of interesting stuff happened during that. That's when like the "Fuck Biden" chant started and all that fun stuff. But yeah, because that's the type of state we're in. I was in. So yeah, Stained, good set. Definitely way heavier than I was expecting, and a lot more fun. So I'm gonna give Stained 4.5 out of 5. I actually bought a tank top for them because I enjoyed their set so much. And then to headline the night, they had the new Metal Titans, Korn, came out. This is my 4th time seeing Korn. They're from Bakersfield, California, and if you're not sure, they're the ones who do like Freak on a Leash and everything. They even did Adidas or ADIDAS. All Day I Dream About Sex. That song's sick. They did Twist and all that. They kind of mashed like half their songs together because they only had like an hour and a half or so, but it was a blast. Definitely played a lot of their popular stuff up front, but still quite a good set. A lot of good like bouncing, moshing, and stuff going on in the near the front there, and definitely a lot of fun. They've always put on a good show, and I've seen them live. I just wish they played a little bit longer. I think they left a little bit early, but still, also they weren't feeling the greatest, but they still trucked through it. So definitely a good cap for the first day. I'm going to give Corn a 4.5 out of 5. So overall, the first day was quite a lot of fun. Found some good bands to check out and to maybe see again in the future. And there's a lot of good moshing going on. And it was just a great time overall. I had such a blast. It felt so good being back at the show. That was my first full show with it back after like over a year and a half, and I was so happy. Couldn't wait for the rest of the weekend. 3 more days left to go. For the total, I'm going to round this whole day out as a 4 out of 5. It was so much fun, but it wasn't perfect because it wasn't. Not every band was fantastic or anything, and but I definitely enjoyed myself a lot. So, yeah. Louder Than Life, day 1, down. It was really fun. A lot of good stuff. And yeah, if any of these bands sound like there's something you're into or you want to check out, I have links for all of them down below. So to like a video or two of theirs down below so you can check them out and see what they're like. See what I got to experience a bit. And yeah, also if you want to see videos and pictures and stuff from the festival, my Instagram's linked down below. There's always there's tons of that in previous shows I've been to and stuff, so you can check that out there. Also, I have a dedicated TikTok for it, so I post videos of all the bands I like on my TikTok as well, so that'll be linked down below too. So yeah, comment your opinions of these bands down below. Let me know if there's songs I should check out that you think I might like, or if there's other bands that you think I might like that I should check out. Comment those down below too. Let me know if you were at the Louder Than Life Festival. Let me know your thoughts on day 1. I'd love to hear your opinions if you're there, or let me know if you want to go to next year's or something. That'll be cool too. Yeah, make sure you like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Make sure you subscribe so then you can hear about day 2, because the weekend just gets crazier and crazier. So make sure you subscribe. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that for now. Day 1's down. So much fun. But we got a lot of cool, crazy stuff coming up for the other ones. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. And I guess I'll see you all in the next one, which will probably be day 2. Rock on.